Good. Okay. Just before 4 p.m., officers of the IMPD East District responded to multiple calls referencing shots being fired in the 5200 block of East 32nd Street. 911 dispatchers updated the run to a person shot. Those officers who worked this particular beat quickly arrived and discovered 3 adults who all sustained injuries consistent with the gunshot wound. 2 adult females, and 1 male. Those officers quickly rendered aid, as well as we had a SWAT, or a Special Weapons and Tactics paramedic in the area. He was also able to render aid until IEMS arrived. They arrived and transported all 3 of those victims to area hospitals. Unfortunately, shortly after arrival, one of the adult females was pronounced deceased by medical personnel. Our homicide detectives, they've responded. Our East District officers, as you can tell behind me, that they are canvassing this area. This is an apartment complex. We're hoping to speak with witnesses and so forth. We do not have a suspect in the city. You will see a high police presence along the Emerson Avenue corridor in this particular area. We're asking for anyone with information to please come forth, and you can do that by dialing 317-327-3475, or you can always remain anonymous by dialing 317-262-TIPS. This is very early on in the investigation. As you can tell behind me, this is a very active scene. I'll entertain questions. However, I may not have all the answers that the community needs at this time, but hopefully we'll be able to update you as this continues. I'll entertain questions at this time.
We've seen multiple homicides here in at least the last year. What is your message to the people who live here?
The message should be that our agency will continue to partner with this community. Our agency will do everything that we can to make not only this particular neighborhood safe, but anybody in the city. This is certainly heartbreaking to this community, our officers. Anytime we have to deal with scenes, this is certainly disheartening. We're doing everything in our power, obviously, that you know that gun violence is a top priority for every man and woman on our agency. We'll continuously do everything that we can. We've made a significant number of homicide arrests. We were able to do that based off the community's tips and help. However, it's so important before we even get to this point that folks understand. You've heard me say this tons and tons of times about conflict resolution, figuring it out, not doing so by picking up a firearm or hurting someone. The message is to those who are responsible for this. It's so important that you, number one, turn yourself in, but we're going to do everything that we can to take you into custody. Everything we can. There's multiple resources from our homicide investigators, our CJIC detectives. We're doing everything that we can to hold these individuals responsible. I'd like to make note that our chaplain office, they've responded, as well as our victims assistance unit. They are working with these particular family members, trying to bring some calm to them. Obviously, you can imagine what they're going through. So it's certainly disheartening. Again, we'll be out here for some time trying to piece together exactly what occurred.
We saw a couple of people detained, or at least going away in officer cars. Do you have a suspect at this time, or any detained?
No suspect in custody. Obviously, to my understanding, there was some type of disturbance that occurred prior to officers arriving. As you can imagine, the type of scene whenever you have 3 people shot, there are lots of moving parts, and so not necessarily that they're in custody, but they may be detained until officers can figure out who's who and what's what. Whenever we have a case, a complex case like this, we want to make sure that we cover every base to make sure that as an agency we don't miss anything, because we want to bring justice to these families who have to particularly deal with this.
This is an apartment complex that has seen its fair share of violence. Do IMPD officers plan to patrol this?
Absolutely. Our community relations officers, as well as our beat officers, will continue to not monitor, not overly police, but we want to partner with this particular complex. I know our East District commander will do everything that he can to provide resources, not just from a police standpoint, but we want to make sure, we want to understand why these things are happening, why these acts of violence may be happening in this particular area. And I know that he'll do everything that he can. I'll have a call with him shortly. I know he'll do everything that he can in his power to make sure that we do everything that we can as an agency.
Do we have any updates on the other 2 victims that are conditioned right now?
Right now, to my understanding, they're in, I believe, both in serious condition.
Well, I know sometimes there can be challenges with witness cooperation. Right now, are your officers having any of those issues right now, or people sort of talking and sharing any information that they've seen gathered before?
Haven't made it that far yet, but witness cooperation is always key. As you know, the city has spent a significant number of resources towards interrupters. We spent a significant number of resources towards technology, whether that be license plate readers or cameras throughout the city. However, nothing beats cooperation from the community. You heard me say this earlier, that made a significant number of arrests based off community tips. We have to have the cooperation from the community in order to make those arrests. But again, before this even happens, where we have someone pick up a firearm and hurt somebody, we want to get the message across that, hey, you're going to be held accountable and responsible if you choose to do these things.
Do you have more information on the nature of the shooting? Was it a drive-by?
Preliminary information suggests shots fired. I hadn't heard anything about a drive-by shooting. For whatever reason, these individuals or individual picked up a firearm and hurt someone. That's our main priority right now is to bring comfort to the family and to make sure that we hold these individuals accountable and responsible.
And then the shooting, was it inside one of these buildings or out here?
So my information that I received from homicide investigators that the shooting did occur outside. As you can tell behind me that there's multiple showcases. Again, it's a complex, somewhat of a larger scene, and so we'll be out here processing the scene with our Marion County Crime Lab. The Marion County Coroner's Office will be working with us to identify the victim in this particular shooting that unfortunately passed away.
Were they related at all?
That will come out as the investigation continues. Our Deputy Chief of Investigations, he's out here trying to assist, making sure that we do everything correct whenever we have a case of this sort.